A very warm welcome for this special press conference about One World, One Family second edition, which will be played on Saturday, 8th February 2025. We are deeply honored and blessed that we have Sadguru Shri Madhusudan Sai ji with us. Sadguru, thank you so much. It's always a blessing to be in your presence. And of course, we have the true legend of the game of cricket, very own Sunil Gavaskar sir. I was just having interaction with the media to keep them occupied while you were making yourself way inside this auditorium. How many of you have visited Satya Sai Gram? I'm sure no one, because they said in the last 1 year they haven't visited Bengaluru. So I don't think they have visited Satya Sai Gram. Let me tell you, I'm not saying this because Sadguru is here with us. You have missed something absolutely marvelous, something absolutely magical. When I went to Satya Sai Gram last month, I saw the volunteers, I saw the staff, I saw all of these amazing people who are doing seva, and I could see that element of that curiosity, whether it is having that super specialty hospital which is absolutely free. And again, when they say absolutely free, they don't compromise. My mentor used to say, compromise is a dirty word. Just because it's free doesn't mean that you just tick the boxes. In fact, I hate to compare, but it will put a lot of other private hospitals to shame. They're completely challenging the conventional way of running a charity or philanthropy or non-for-profit, whatever we want to call. Now, I'm really excited to tell about this upcoming another initiative. This is the second edition of One World, One Family cricket match, which is scheduled on Saturday, 8th of February 2025. And it is not just cricket that it will be played, because when cricket is played, it embodies unity, sportsmanship, and a spirit of togetherness which will transcend the borders, cultures, and differences. Now I have been given this interesting task to introduce someone which I'm sure everyone knows. From the moment, again, born and brought up in India, as a kid we always want to play cricket to represent our country, but it takes a different level of persistence and commitment. But from the time I got to know that there is a game called cricket, there was one name, Sunil Gavaskar, Sunil Gavaskar, Sunil Gavaskar. Oh, he was the first person to score 10,000 runs in Test cricket. And I started digging deep. He has scored 13 centuries against West Indies when they had those lethal, deadliest fast bowlers, and he hit those centuries without wearing a helmet. Sir, I hope that you had insurance back then. He has been awarded a lot of awards, Arjuna Award, Padma Bhushan Award, C.K. Naidu Lifetime Award, which is given by BCCI, which is the highest award in the Indian cricket, inducted in ICC Cricket Hall of Fame. But what I would like to mention is, the game of cricket is extra special, not just because of its records. It's because of how he made the cricketing fans feel when he was batting, and how he's making us feel when he is expressing, giving life to cricket with his words through commentary. Sunil Gavaskar sir, cricket is extra special simply because you played, simply because the way you narrate and bring life and tell the stories, which no one else does. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause as we request one and only Sunil Manohar Gavaskar to share his thoughts about this One World, One Family. Over to you, sir.
I'm overwhelmed at the introduction that you made, because this is probably the best introduction that has ever been made of me. Generally, people, the master of ceremonies gets away by saying, "Oh, Sunil, he needs no introduction," and then nothing is said. But all these things that you said made me feel so nice, so good. I'm retired now for almost 38 years from cricket, and so nobody really talks about us. They talk about the current players, which is understandable. But when you come for a function like this and then you say such nice things, it really makes you feel very, very nice. But more importantly, I think the way you've talked about what the mission is all about, what under the mentorship, the guidance of Sadguru, what we have been able to achieve, what we are trying to achieve, is, I think, the main thing. The match is just one part of trying to tell everybody that we are just one race. We are just one world, one family, and therefore to try and help each other out as much as possible is the whole idea of living. It is not to fight with each other. or fight against each other. We just got to be, to be able to make sure that all our lives are such that we are able to live in peace with everybody. And this match is just an example of how here, of course, we are playing a Sri Lankan team against an India team, India legends versus Sri Lankan legends. Last year, it was a mixed team. So there were players like from South Africa, from England, from India, and from Sri Lanka. They were playing for one team. And that's the best way of getting everybody together. Our IPL does that, Indian Premier League does that. But that's more a commercial thing. Here, there was no commercial aspect involved. Here, it was just a question of spreading the message of one world, one family. And that is exactly what we are hoping will happen on the 8th of February. What you have talked about, the mission, what it's doing in terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of nutrition, is you saw the video and you know what it is. And can you imagine a medical college totally free of cost for the rural children? There has never been anything like this anywhere in the world. And it is only over here, thanks to Sadguru, that we are able to have this college where rural children who can come in and get a medical degree. You know how difficult it is to get into colleges, medical colleges in the cities. There are so many fees, everything, but nothing over here. There is zero fee. The accommodation, everything is totally taken care of. And so the only condition is, and it is obviously not such a stringent condition, is that 4 years after they graduate, for 4 years they have to serve in a rural area, because that is how they are giving back for the free education that they've got. For rural children, it's impossible to be able to raise the kind of funds to go to a college in a city or in a metro. And this is one way of trying to get the rural children to learn medicine and to practice medicine in the rural areas. That's just one aspect. The health initiative, where the Sai Sanjeevani hospitals does totally free of cost surgeries for children born with congenital heart defects. Totally free of cost. When the child comes in, the parents are accommodated in the annex. Everything for the parents is taken care of. Accommodation, boarding, lodging, everything. And while their child is being treated, it could be maybe a week or so before the procedure is done, but everything is totally free. There's no cash counter at all in these hospitals. In fact, what we say in our hospitals is only dil, no bill, and that's what we say. And I think we have, over the last 12 years, we have, I think, had about more than 35,000 surgeries done in the hospitals that we have. And as far as the nutrition, you've already seen the video where so many million children are getting free breakfast every morning. So this is the whole mission. The whole mission is to try and bring everybody together. And this match is just one way of trying to spread the message as much as possible. More than me, I think Sadguru himself will tell you in maybe in greater detail. But my association with this cause is just a blessing for me. To be able to do something is just a blessing. I've had the grace of Swami, who's looked after me, my family, for decades. I wouldn't be here without his hand on my head. That is 100%. Because when you play, and when the greatest of them all, Sir Garfield Sobers, drops a simple catch like this, coming in and out, and gives me a second cricketing life, that has only got to be because of God's blessing and God's grace on my head. So therefore, in my own small way, if I can do something, that is what I'm looking to do. And I'm blessed to be able to have Sadguru as our mentor and as our guide to help us to achieve as much as we can. Just on a lighter note, before I end, you asked that I played without a helmet, and you asked whether I had insurance. But I think let me be very honest, and let me tell everybody that the only reason I didn't wear any helmet was because there was nothing inside to protect. So on that note, may I just take the opportunity to thank all of you for having come here. If you can spread the message of what we are trying to do, what we are trying to achieve, that will be a real big, big blessing for us again. And thank you all for being here this evening.
Thank you, Sunil Gavaskar sir. In fact, few days back, we had another cricketing legend, G.R. Vishwanath sir, and we had the press conference in Bengaluru. And Sunil Gavaskar, in the last year's Cricket Cup, he said, I'm done playing 2 innings, now I'm starting my 3rd innings, and this is the most kind of memorable and some innings that I'm going to cherish. And Vishwanath sir said, you know what, Sunil Gavaskar was my captain, he used to open the batting, and we had many partnership, and I think this 3rd innings will be one of the longest partnership and something that we are going to truly enjoy. Now I have got another interesting opportunity, and that is to introduce Sadguru ji, who is a beacon of selfless service and bringing that global harmony. He's a humanitarian leader. Since 2012, he has dedicated his life in uplifting millions through free education, free nutrition, and free healthcare initiatives, guided by the ancient Indian principle of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and you can see all over the logo it says one world, one family. 28 educational campuses and universities in South India. 7,800 scholarships have been awarded to encourage primary school enrollment. India's first free private rural medical college, and you saw in the video our Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji inaugurated it. 12 specialty hospital in India, over 34,000 children, and outpatient consulting is close to 2.9 million patients. The Annapurna Morning Nutrition Program nourishes 10 million school-going children across 1 lakh government schools. All services provided by Sri Madhusudan Sai Global Humanitarian Mission are absolutely free, and I take the pride in saying it is in Satya Sai Grama in Muddenahalli in Karnataka. So again, if you are visiting Bangalore, before you head towards the Bangalore city, take the opposite direction 30 minutes, you will be in Satya Sai Grama, something that you have to be there, experience and feel it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause as we would like to hear thoughts about this particular initiative from Sadguruji. Sadguruji.
Namaste to everybody, and I'm very glad to be back in what we call as Amchi, Mumbai, the home ground of Sunil Gavaskar ji. Let me begin with this very interesting name, One World, One Family. How did it come about? And all credits to him. Because we were in San Jose 2 years ago, and he was there, and some of our trustees, global foundations were there. And as we were talking, I was mentioning about this idea of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, which is our ancient Upanishadic principle, which says the whole world is one family. Imagine nobody other than an Indian sage or a philosopher said this, that the whole world can be one family despite our differences. This idea, how can we promote it in the world? Because you see, world is, unfortunately, even in this 21st century, is getting increasingly divided. There are wars and conflicts and strives happening everywhere. So as we were discussing, it just came out of my mouth that, one world, one family is the way it should be. And he immediately caught it. And he said, what a wonderful name, one world, one family. I think that is the greatest message that the world can hear today. And thanks to him, that a passing remark like this became the mission's motto. And today the whole mission is run on this idea that we are one family, where the whole world is one family. And to celebrate this idea and make it even more known, this cup came into existence. We had opened a new cricket ground in the same campus, Satya Sai ground, which was founded 50 years ago under the guidance of Bhagwan Sri Satya Sai Baba by one of his devotees. And this is the ground, the picture is there in front of you. So the inauguration of the ground also coincided with this One World, One Family Cup, thanks to Sunil ji's Herculean efforts to bring all kinds of wonderful players from many countries who came together. And as he said, the most beautiful part of the whole thing was the last ball of the match. That was the last winning ball or winning shot, you can say. And on the batting was Irfan Pathan, and the bowler was Yusuf Pathan. And imagine, one of them will win, one of them is going to lose. Whatever happens on that last ball. It was such an exciting match. And in that thrilling moment, the last ball, and Irfan Pathan hits it. And then he wins the match. But once they win the match, they don't go and abuse each other like many times people do, or don't have enmity or anger. They both go and hug each other, laugh it out, saying that no, what a twist of fate this is, that one brother has won, one brother has lost, but then they both celebrate. So that is the idea of humanity, that we all have some losses, some gains. As a world, we exist in different ways. But at the end of the day, when we come together and sit across the table, we become one family and we enjoy each other's company. We celebrate this idea of oneness. So that is the idea of this cup. And we're very grateful that this year, this is the second edition, which is largely happening between Indian legends and Sri Lankan legends. Again, it is led by Sunil Gavaskar's efforts. On the Sri Lankan side, why it is Sri Lanka this time, not the mixed team, is because we have also built a hospital in Sri Lanka. On the eastern province side, where there is no hospital, almost for 400 kilometers, people would have to be taken if they got a heart attack to another center, which was quite far in Jaffna. And we have built it somewhere in middle, in the eastern side, in Batticaloa. This is the first cath lab in the whole region. So you can imagine, if somebody gets a heart attack, within first hour, they have to be treated, otherwise they'll die. So when I went to Sri Lanka, I came to know there were 30,000 war widows living on that eastern side, and they requested some help is needed. When we went and talked to the hospitals locally, they said cath lab, that is catheterization lab, which helps you to take care of your heart in case you have a problem. That wasn't there in all the history of Sri Lanka's 75 years of independence. So we set up the cath lab, and now it's running very well as a mark of gratitude. It is again to Sunil Gavaskar's credit that he called up his good friend Arvinda De Silva. They must be arch rivals when it comes to cricketing, but as friends, there's so much respect for each other. And Arvinda was telling that, even after the match, they all would huddle and sit with you, and they will learn from you, and they will listen to you and learn from you. So there was no enmity, there was no rivalry in those days. So Arvinda became our trustee in the Sri Lankan Foundation, just as Sunil Gavaskar is the trustee here in this Heart Hospital Foundation. And then he took it upon himself to tell about it to more cricketers in Sri Lanka, who also came to the hospital. They were very touched. And by now 2000 plus lives have been saved. 2234 is the latest number. I also have to keep myself updated. So that is the number today. These many people saved because of the intervention, a collaboration between India and Sri Lanka. And that is the thing that we are celebrating this time. And I'm very happy to tell you, some of the best of the Sri Lankan cricketing legends are going to be here at the ashram. So also from the Indian side. And we are looking forward to again spreading this message that in this world, if we all can think of another person as also a member of our family, we don't need a religion, we don't need a philosophy, we don't need any teaching of any master. This simple idea is good enough to live harmoniously and peacefully in the whole world. And that idea is something that the mission promotes. Again, we are looking forward to receiving you all. Satya Sai Grama is only a stone's throw from the Bangalore International Airport. It's a very scenic place. The ground is beautiful. It's surrounded by hills. Very, very pristine and scenic surroundings, very elevating experience. So that is something that you should see. And the best part is that at the end of this match, a new cricketing academy, a cricket academy is beginning. Last year, we had a discussion with Sunilji saying, how can rural kids also get opportunities to come up in life if they have the talent? How can we train them? Because it's quite expensive to get a good training. And he said, I'm willing whenever you decide. And this time, when we met Sri G.R. Vishwanath-ji, we thought we would honor him because he also has been one of the most remarkable cricketers who had a repertoire of all kinds of shots that you can think of, a legend of a kind. So he also is a part of this whole endeavor. And he said, I will also lend my services alongside Sunilji, and whatever we can do for the rural kids, underprivileged, so that they also can learn this game of cricket and make their country proud. So we are starting an academy, Vishwanath-Gavaskar Cricket Academy, with 30 students in the first batch, all junior level cricket playing students, and then we will take care of them and take care of their accommodation, their training, their food, nutrition, their health, whatever it takes for them to become good cricketers. And hopefully someday they will become a part of the Indian cricket team and make the country proud. So that is the other initiative that I wanted to bring to your attention. Again, thanks to Vishwanath-ji and Gavaskar-ji. We also would be honoring Mr. Vishwanath for his feat of 50 years of 97 not out, for those who might have seen the match long against West Indies. And he stayed put and scored 97, which made us win the match and the series. So that is something that we are celebrating, honoring him for that. And on a personal note, You mentioned about 10,000 runs of Sunil ji. I remember I don't want to say what my age is, but I was still in school that time when this happened. I remember it was an afternoon. I don't remember specific details because we were kids still. And this match was going on, and only Doordarshan would, relay all those matches. And everybody was glued to their TVs. And in those days, where I come from, Chhattisgarh is a very small state. And we were in a small industrial town. TVs were also not there in every home. And you have to really be at the mercy of the antenna on top, which will keep turning according to the wind and rain. And then you'll miss the most important points of the match. But this is a time when he scored 10,000 runs. I remember the whole colony, the whole town actually burst into celebrations. Everybody was out on the streets, kids, with their plastic bats and balls, whatever they had. And the moment this match got over, everybody was on the streets playing cricket, old and young. That is the kind of inspiration that he left behind with that feat of his. And still today, he is an inspiration for all. But the most important thing is that he's not just another cricketer, as you said. Not only he brought glory to the game of cricket to our country, but now what is he doing? He is a part of this global humanitarian mission specifically for the children with heart diseases. And right here in Mumbai, we have a hospital in Kargar, in Navi Mumbai, Sri Sathya Sai Sanjeevani Children's Heart Hospital, where every day we do 12 to 15 surgeries for children who come from all around Maharashtra. And they are poor children, they cannot afford a surgery. And he goes around the world, talks about this cause and raises support for this cause. Not only that, he has raised support for our medical school. As you see, a new big hospital, 600 bedded, perhaps the world's largest free hospital is coming up right there in the ashram. So you'll get to see that as well. And it is free and available to everybody, and it has all the specialties. Now postgraduate courses are starting. That is why we need a bigger hospital. And that is going to be another remarkable achievement of the mission. And I will not shy away from saying the very first donation for the medical college came from Sunil Gavaskar ji and his wife. When he heard, he called me, he came, and he made the very first check he wrote for the mission. So he's not a man who's just speaking. He's the man who's actually doing. And his actions are now louder than his words. And I had told him that now, though you are not batting formally for the team, but now you are batting for this mission, I think this is the best thing that you're doing. And he says, yes, this is my third innings. And he has inspired his own brother-in-law, G.R. Vishwanath ji, who is also starting his third innings with this particular initiative. So this is the coming together of so many good people. I'm sure you have enough to protect up there, but you have much more to protect in here. And that is why you are what you are. Thank you.
Well, my humble request to all the media people is, these are the messages, these are the projects, these are the initiatives that should go viral. Yes, amazing things are happening. Let us all come together, join hands, and before that, please visit Sathya Sai Gram Ashram to see what exactly is happening. Now the time has come for us to unveil the cup, and you might be wondering what's behind that particular box. And now it's time to reveal the cup. Sadguru ji and Gavaskar sir, we have the remote there. You press any button, it will rotate from right to left. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a huge round of applause as the grand cup, one world, one family cricket cup is unveiled. It just isn't any trophy, it's a symbol of unity, sportsmanship, and the power of coming togetherness for a greater cause. With this cup, we celebrate the thrill of competition and the shared love for the sport of cricket that unites all of us. Presenting to you the magnificent symbol of global sporting excellence. It's time to open the floor for any questions that you would like to ask. Yes, ma'am.
My question is, what inspired you to start the One World, One Family Cup 2025?
As I mentioned, we were anyway inaugurating a cricket stadium in the campus because it's a university with several facilities, including a sports facility. And there's one of our followers, Mr. Krishnan, who is an ardent fan of all sports and especially cricket and also cricketers. Sunil Gavaskar ji happened to be our trustee, and we thought this is the best thing we can do when we open the ground for our own students and our own faculty. We can also make a celebration out of it and make a message go around the world. So that is how this whole idea came up. And as you see, that is the ground. And there are many other smaller courts also in between the galleries. And all this is available to the poorest and the most rural children for absolutely no charge at all the education and sports. So the idea was that we have so many cricketers who are a part of this mission, as you would see here. And thanks to him, he has spread the word. Last time it was Sachinji also, and so many others. So we thought cricket is a religion in our country, isn't it? It's getting more than a religion now. And the only competition is perhaps the present Kumbh Mela. Otherwise, there is no competition to cricket. So this is one thing that can take the message to 1 billion or 1.4 billion people. And now with cricket added to the Olympics, it can take this message to the whole world. And I think we have Sunil ji, not just a commentator, but a person who speaks from his heart and does what his heart tells him. And if he is the face of this message and the mission, I think we have reached out to the whole world with this great inspiring message. So that is the idea of why this cup came.
Sadguru, you talked about good and noble initiatives run through this mission. So I would like to know, how do you manage to raise the funds through this initiative, One World, One Family Cup, and what will be the prize money and where it will be used?
So the entire mission, as you know, runs absolutely free of charge to the beneficiary. But of course, there is a cost to the trust. This cup is being sponsored by some of the well-wishers of the trust who believe in the cause of spreading this message, and sponsored by several people, like-minded people, whatever the cost of this initiative is. There is no prize money for this. All the players are coming and playing for the joy of it, for the sake of spreading this good work. And so there are no prize monies as such. But yes, they're all coming together to spend some time and display their skills. And I also told some of these cricketers that, these rural kids will never get to see you. They can never get to a regular ground, pay for the tickets or whatever, never get to see you. So please do something. And many of them moved by that. They are coming just to spend, their time with the kids and celebrate this idea that sports can unite people. So yes, all this is being sponsored by well-wishers. The entire match is being taken care of by them. So many of these sports people are just coming out of their love for the cause like this, and kind of sharing what they can do for the country, for the society. So that's again a huge inspiration that this match is bringing about, especially when cricket is so commercialized nowadays. There are a set of good cricketers, you can imagine, who are willing to work for a cause like this. So that's again an inspiration to the next generation of cricketers who would also think this way, at least in their third innings. They also would be like him. That is my hope. So that is the idea.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, all the respected members, professionals from the media, for your time and support. And if you would like to take more photos with that banner, please feel free to do so, or else we can conclude this evening. Thank you so much once again. Looking forward to seeing you all in Muddenahalli in Karnataka on Saturday, 8th of February. Thank you once again.